Hello, y'all. So, yes, I did have another baby. I got pregnant 6 months after my third child. So, she was born, I was only 25 weeks pregnant. So, so I found out I was pregnant, like I said, 6 months after I had my third child. And my fourth baby was born. I gotta use the bathroom so bad. My fourth baby was born at 25 weeks, very premature. Story time. Here we go. So on Thursday, December 12th, I started having contractions. Not contractions, well, they were contractions. I found out they were contractions, but I thought they were Braxton Hicks contractions. Because I'm thinking, I'm 25 weeks, I'm like 6 months pregnant, the baby's getting bigger, I'm getting, just stretching out, right? But yeah, no. I was having contractions at 25 weeks sitting at the house, right? So I'm like, just waiting in the water. I'm just like, okay, whatever, she's just getting bigger. But then I started getting stronger, kind of like cramps, which were actually contractions. But I thought at the time they were like Braxton Hicks or cramps. So they started to get stronger, and I'm like, something don't feel right. So I end up just sleeping through the night, and that was Thursday, December 12th. Here's the tea. I wake up on Friday, December the 13th, that morning, and I go to use the bathroom. I noticed that my underwear were wet, but the bed was dry. So I'm like, I know I didn't pee on myself. So I get up to go to the bathroom, and I look at my underwear, and it's wet. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I'm like, I know this ain't no amniotic fluid. I'm only 25 weeks. I know I'm not. Like, what's going on with my body? What is going on? And so I end up changing my underwear and got back in the bed. So I'm just like, something don't feel right. But I'm like, I'm only 25 weeks. Maybe I'm just doing too much or in my head. But I'm like, no, the fact that my underwear was soaked, that says something. And it wasn't urine. It wasn't me peeing on myself. So I'm like, where's this liquid coming from? Where's this wetness coming from? So I went ahead and I said, okay, I gotta go to the doctor. I said, I gotta go to the hospital. I gotta go to the doctor. So I ended up calling my doctor, and they told me to come in. She told me to, of course, undress from the waist down, and she puts the spatula in me. First of all, as I'm coming down to put my feet on the stilts, ladies, when you go get your checkup down there, I'm leaking. I'm like leaking fluid stuff. I don't know what it is though at the time, right? Because it hasn't been confirmed it was amniotic fluid. So I'm leaking, and I'm like, okay. So she's like, whoa, I see a leakage, my doctor. And so she puts the spatula, up in the girly area, and she's like, oh yeah, you're about to have a baby. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then she rushes. So then she's like, you got to get to the hospital. Thank God my doctor's office is connected to the hospital. So I get dressed. So she told me, put on your clothes, get dressed. We're going to wheelchair you to the hospital. So I put on my clothes, get dressed. They wheelchair me to the hospital. They start plugging me up, putting the things on me so they can watch my contractions and keep track with the baby heartbeat and monitor both of us. And so I'm just like, it's so fast. Everything feels so surreal. I'm just like, because I did not expect to have a baby right now. My due date is March 28th, okay? It is December. What is going on? Don't mind me. Huh? Yeah. Okay, you can. So I get there. So I get to the hospital. They hook me up. And they're trying to debate on whether to keep me pregnant or not keep me pregnant, because there was concern of infection that could get to me and the baby and cause us to be septic. Septic just means dirty. Like, you can be contaminated. Your blood can get bacteria and infection in it, right? So we kind of didn't know. The doctors were just trying to plan that out. So anyway, make a long story short, they checked me. She ended up checking me. The doctor ended up checking me. And she was like, oh, yeah, that is infection. We need to have this baby right now. So I'm like, oh, my gosh. I don't got no epidural. I don't have no pain medication, no nothing. I'm only 25 weeks, so my baby's only a pound. But I'm still like, what the fuck? Because I've never delivered a baby without epidural. So she's like, okay, we're about to have a baby. You got to push. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. So we go ahead, they set up everything. The NICU team had to come because, of course, she's so early. So the NICU team came down. It was like a scene in a movie. The NICU team came down. They put my legs up. She getting dressed in her sterile, surgical stuff to deliver the baby and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, my gosh, this is just crazy right now. So they said, put your legs up. Okay, push. So I'm pushing and I'm pushing, and I feel like my freaking ass is about to come out my ass. It's just ridiculous. So I'm pushing. I'm just like, I don't even know if I'm doing this right. It's been 7 years since I pushed the baby because my last baby, my third child, was a C-section. Okay, so my second child, which is my son, I had him epidural and I pushed him out. My son is now 7. I ain't pushed in 7 years, so I don't even know if I'm doing this right. So I'm pushing and I'm pushing, and I'm like, because I just feel something, and all of a sudden she comes out, and they put her in her little incubator and stuff because I could not get to immediately get her on my chest because she's so young. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. You need me to move it? Okay. So they wasn't able to do all that. They instantly had to take her up. So they cleaned me up and everything like that, and trying to now get my placenta out. But my placenta was not trying to come out. It took like 30 minutes for my placenta to come out. And they had to give me a shot in my leg, which was Pitocin, which is to help me cramp so that the placenta could come out. And then they had to stick like 3 pills up my ass. I'm like, what the fuck? Is this how people smuggle drugs? So my placenta ended up coming out. It took like 30 minutes for my placenta to come out. Because after you have a baby, your placenta has to come out, which the placenta is where the baby lives. So it finally comes out after like 30 minutes. And I'm just like, what the fuck? She was like tugging on the umbilical cord on the placenta for it to come out. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm cussing all types of shit. Okay. So it finally comes out. And, yeah. And my baby is here. And I'm not pregnant no more. And it's still surreal. So, yes, everybody, I had another child. My 4th child. I had 3 girls and 1 boy. And yeah, y'all. So y'all didn't know the whole time. So here's tea. If you want more tea, this is where it will be on Snapchat, baby. It won't be really on Instagram. But I'll still be on Instagram. But this is where y'all will be following me in my motherhood and me in my life. And next for me is nursing school. So I'm excited. So I can start taking, good care of me and my kids. Hello. But yeah, y'all, that's tea, and that's what happened.